Hello everyone, Angelo here, almost still alright. Living in my car for over 2 years now. Alright? Sorry, that didn't work. Let me try that again. Hello everyone, Angelo here, almost still alright. Hello everyone, Angelo here, homeless filmmaker in LA, living in my car for 2 years now. Today was payday. I got my first paycheck on my job, and now, frankly, I'm rich. I'm hobo rich. I worked like 4 days last week, so it works out to about $100 a day, a little under that, so use your imagination. And with my money, I was finally able to go to the food bank and just, like, here's the thing. First of all, looking at the number in my bank account, I'm like, that means nothing now. Any more money, it's just a number on the screen. Like, I'm living the same, there's not much different. But anyways, I went to the food bank, was able to get some stuff. They did have some masks, so I did get this one. It's kind of cool. Feels better than, I'm going to throw these away. I can't stand these. I got these from the food bank too, these Hanes masks. Just, I don't like the texture of the fabric. It's so annoying. I got a pack of 10 of them. I'll keep them just in case I need them, but I got a pack of 2 of these, and I'll start getting more so I can rotate them. Also, at my warehouse job, I wear this face mask at all times. Unless I walk well, I'm not even talking 6 feet, like 25 feet away from everybody, and where no one's been standing there previously in the last few minutes. And if I have to just drink water. And I got new knee pads. Finally, I got decent knee pads for $6 at a dollar store. I had these cheap ones that they were like $2. The problem is the other one I don't use anymore. First of all, you can see how badly it flexes and bends. I needed one, seriously, I needed it cheap. This is just like some soft material, very comfortable, but the Velcro on the other one, it like, I don't know if it got caught on a box at the warehouse or something and tore off, so anyways, this is going in the trash too. So finally, got some good knee pads, because when I'm moving fast along stuff and other people moving around, it's easy to bang my knees into a conveyor belt or like a dolly cart. I usually don't, but even if, like today, it happened once, I was glad for that one knee pad I had on my right knee. And I'm just trying to work as many shifts as possible. I need to make money. So went to the food bank, went to the grocery store, got some herring and tuna. Went to Jack in the Box, got a chicken pita wrap. I'm barely eating. I'm losing a lot of weight, so I'm glad about that. It's weird, like, seeing myself, like, losing weight, but it's like, oh, I still have a lot of fat on me. Well, anyways, it's going well. It's just mind over matter. It's a job. I'm underpaid, as is everybody there. And man, I'm glad they didn't put me on that harder position in the warehouse. It's a little tedious to explain, but there's basically a position most people do that's relatively easy. You're still running ragged for hours at a time, but at least it's much more straightforward, and the lifting is nowhere near as bad. The other one, you're lifting like 4 times the amount of stuff rapidly. It is backbreaking. I guess, I don't know if it's my age or what. I'm 35, but it just hurts my body to do it. I can physically do it. I did it 3.5 days straight, but what I realized is everybody who did it only worked half a day on it. And then after lunch, someone else would switch, because it just wears you out. So, good for those guys that do that. Man, they should be commended and given hazard pay just for that job. But yeah, it was just causing all kinds of pains all over my body. Back, neck, shooting pains, bicep, tricep, everywhere. Fingers, hands, wrists. So that's going much better. And also, I even got resolution. So there's been some growing pains on the job. I was really nervous at first. Like, am I going to be fired for being injured? Are they going to think I don't want to work? And, not trusting anything anyone told me as far as, oh yeah, don't worry, like we're not trying to fire you. I'm like, no, I can't trust it. I was having such bad anxiety. I couldn't sleep well for 2 nights, and I didn't sleep that well last night either because I had anxiety over one of the people in the warehouse yelling at me, who was just totally out of line and just doing it to be like basically just to harass me. And I talked to a manager about it, and fortunately, and I was thinking, oh man, I'm gonna have to confront this person. Because the company's probably not gonna care. So I'm thinking I gotta talk to them, and then they may want to argue and stuff, and flip out on me, and make it and retaliate. So I talked to a manager. I said, look, would you just be a witness to this? Because I don't want there to be an argument. But I gotta talk to this person, tell them to stop yelling at me over. I'm not even going to bother explaining it. It's something once I leave this job I'll forget all about, but something very, very trivial when I'm doing a huge amount of work across much of the floor, and this person comes in much later to do work later in the day, and just keeps yelling and yelling when one package that belongs in their area but is for the post office, isn't for them. It's hard to see when you're dealing with hundreds of package, the USPS at the bottom, sometimes not even in bold print. And so this person would just scream that it's a post office and be like sort of browbeat me. This person and their partner they seem to work with, they're always around each other. A lot of times just standing or sitting. Today eating for a bit. Sometimes just picking up package and pegging it at the ground. So I can tell this is a miserable, miserable person, like just shouting at me like I'm a dog. And the manager said, no, don't talk to them. You're not supposed to talk to them. And they're not supposed to talk to you because they're not employees of the warehouse. They're contractors. So he said, let me talk to someone else, but basically they're not supposed to do anything to you. And I told it to another manager as well, and he's like, just ignore them. They always complain. Don't worry about it. So I'm like, oh, good. And the good thing too, if you act like you're kind of mentally deficient, like people just leave you alone. One of them tried asking me something that they for all their browbeating me, it was the partner of the main offender. For all their this person browbeat me yesterday too. Like, excuse me, could you do this? Like while we're standing here and sitting here, and we could easily just correct the issue, put the mail back on the conveyor belt while you're dealing with like 6 to 10 different sections full of packages to different areas. You need to pay attention to this. And I'm like, oh, okay. But today, this person asked something like, which section is this? And it says on every package, like these 50, 100, whatever, how many packages, what section it is. And right then somebody else asked me for something, so I was just, whatever. In that moment, I got really confused. I'm like, and she didn't say anything the rest of the shift. So I think it paid off to just seem mentally deficient and be like, I don't know. Anyway, so now I'm just in a routine, and when I'm there thinking, because it can be easy to think, oh man, why do I have to go into work tomorrow? Why do I need to work at all? I'm doing it with the thought in mind while I'm there, and I'm dissociating less. I still have obsessively, unfortunately, compulsively, I should say, this one song just running through my head. No particular reason. It's just my mind will not shut it off, and it makes me feel kind of nauseated. But I'm just thinking, I need this job to get that Blackmagic camera, new lenses. I'm not even thinking about the co-op housing situation yet. I needed to get microphones, lights, laptop, hard drives, upgrade my editing software, take screenwriting courses, all that stuff. And finally, I got the money for my oil change. I found a place that's close by and good, but they were busy today, so they said Monday might be good. I'll do that. In tire rotation, because it's like 600 miles overdue. Even though I've been putting clean oil, like fresh oil in, it's still dirty. I can see it. Also, so I got my negative Trump virus test, and I was thinking, man, like I read an article saying that people who got the Trump virus, that's the new name for it. The old name is actually out of date. It's the Trump virus now. He's the one who spread it like a plague. Personally, he spread it as well. Who got it? Chuck Grassley, and I think Ben Carson got it as well. I'm not saying they got it directly from Trump. This was much more recently after Trump got it. But I read an article saying that if you exercise too much after you get the Trump virus, it could seriously damage your heart because of the way your immune system and the cells of the Trump virus itself affect the heart. And if you don't let it relax after a while, it'll inflame the heart and cause major damage to it. And there are athletes young, healthy athletes, otherwise healthy, who died or now have serious lifelong heart complications that could shorten their lives. And I'm like, oh man, what if I had, because you can be asymptomatic and had it. And I exercise every day, and especially at this job, I'm working like 7 hours a day, just probably walking miles carrying boxes. So I wanted to find out if there's a way to see if I've had it before. I've always tested negative, but I've only had like 3 tests, and 2 of them were recently. The last one was like 2 days ago. So I looked up how to get an antibody test. It turns out, my understanding is, I really should call the Red Cross and see. But if you donate blood, you get, at a lot of places, you get tested for Trump virus antibodies. So you would, and it's not foolproof. Again, there are some people it wouldn't necessarily show up for, or possibly even a false positive, like antibodies for another type of Trump virus. Anyways, like the cold is a type of Trump virus, basically. They're all Trump viruses now. But so I scheduled an appointment. I'm going to donate blood this weekend, and I should find out soon after, I guess. They say the Red Cross does it if I've ever had the Trump virus, because I at least want to know, well, what's the deal? Should I be concerned about my heart, my brain, whatever? Try and get other tests to see. I would, well, all I can say is I hope no. I did get very sick with the flu in January of this year, but I tested positive for the flu. So I think if anyone knows, that pretty much would rule out coronavirus. Yes, you can. Oh, I'm sorry, I said the old name for it, the Trump virus. Yes, you could have both the flu and the Trump virus at the same time, but it's very, very rare. Most likely it was just a bad flu, I suppose. But still, it kind of worries me. Like, how soon after did I exercise when I was sick? I don't even remember. But I was probably under 2 weeks, and athletes, especially competitive athletes, they're being given like 3 months rest now, and having to get all kinds of scans done before they go back to training. But a lot of people don't have the benefit of that, so that's kind of frightening. But so far, no symptoms. I mean, as far as any kind of heart issues, palpitations and stuff, I don't know, but numbness in my extremities, anything like that. So I don't know. Forget if I had any other topics to talk about. Whoa, getting choked up. Still just showering in the cold. And again, I'm just keeping my focus on, every time I'm at work, it's not about work. It's about, this is how I'm making it possible to get a Blackmagic 6K camera, if I go with that camera. That's what I've seen people say is great, and it makes a great picture, like comparable to a Red cinema camera, but way cheaper. Lenses and all that stuff, it still gets pricey. But it would be something good to have, so that once I get trained on it and up on it, maybe some footage shot, I could possibly get hired on some type of video shoots, whether it's corporate, commercial, even movies, although it depends, what's filming, and movies generally, independent ones at least, don't pay much. So the money's more in commercials generally. So I'd see if I'd even, get that offer, or just make videos for you all on YouTube. This is still my job as well, in addition to the warehouse. I almost forgot for a second what I do. So yeah, I was relieved that this person yelling at me, basically, I'm free to ignore them. I have instructions to ignore them, to not talk to them. I mean, I won't literally say nothing if I have to speak, but, and all I mean by have to speak is if, like, they're just, I don't know, if, like, the most minor type of interaction, like, whatever, if I say, okay, here you go, or something, I don't know. But generally, literally, no. Today, I said nothing to them. So they said, you're not supposed to talk to them, and the other one said, just ignore them. Because a lot of times these contractors will do that. And fortunately, the other manager said, well, he'll talk to someone, and because we're not even supposed to deal with them, and their company will have to, address that. And this person just, like I said, seems miserable, like just picking up little bag packages like this and pegging them at the ground, sitting around, and then still complaining when I accidentally slipped in post office mail as opposed to the company mail. And by the way, I gotta say, these flies are annoying. Don't order from Amazon if you can help it. If this is how tough we're worked, and it seems like relatively light to me. I mean, we have breaks. We have short lunch breaks, 30 minutes. It seems like we're not absolutely overwhelmed. At least so far. I've only been there a week. But I can only imagine at Amazon, a bigger company with more power, more resources, and taking people without any resume, which I don't know if this company would too, but they may very well. But Amazon specifically advertises as taking people with no resume. They just need bodies in there. It's probably similar at this warehouse, but Amazon's just so much bigger. The workers are worked so hard, I'm sure. I've heard horror stories, and underpaid, and not enough hours, and bathroom break issues and all that. And over 20,000 of them have gotten the Trump virus. So don't order from them if you can help it. I still have once in a while. I admit it. I'm just saying, if you can help it, if you can order somewhere else or buy somewhere else. Yeah, everywhere you go, there was probably some issue or something, like some worker conditions that aren't good, or they're underpaid. But avoid it if you can, because now I've seen it. It's like I literally see delivery trucks on the road, and it gives me a little bit of like an uncomfortable feeling of like, ooh, I know what it's like to get that ready to go. So anyways, I'm Hobo Rich, everyone. Now I gotta do my usual thing at the end of videos. I guess this is a recurring thing now. Go fill up all these water bottles, and I guess I'll shave at the water fountain.